Okay, let's try this. Fourth try. Hopefully, fourth time is a charm. And if you're just tuning in, I am currently watching the ball game, Game 7 of the Mariners versus the Blue Jays, and it is tied 1-1. And I'm sure that this is probably very nerve-wracking. I'm sure I mean, I wouldn't be surprised with how big of a game this is that there's going to be an uptick in heart attack visits in the ER after this game is up. I mean, that's how intense I'm sure this game is. That it is so intense that people that I can almost be certain that there will be an uptick in people thinking that they're having a heart attack. Okay, so let me go ahead and put this into my Jupyter notebook here. I'm gonna hopefully see if this works. If not, I'm just gonna have to wing it because for some reason, normally when I have done this in the past, I was able to actually see my live stream through my YouTube app, my YouTube Studio app. So if I filter to live, see, I'm not. Yeah, for some reason, it's not letting me. Let me go to the other app here. Skip. Let me go. Let me see if I go ahead and click on my videos. Nope. Sort by lot more. No, it's not letting me live. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. For some reason, I'm just not seeing this show up. Okay, so now I keep looking at the wrong thing here. Okay, so looks like I've got some chat here. So I apologize. I'm going to have to keep reverting back to this screen to respond to my comments because I'm not able to see it through my phone, which I was hoping to do without having to keep reverting back to the screen. So yes, I am a born again Python programmer learning from complete scratch. Yes, you guys, I am going to be utilizing no resources, no chat GPT, no Stack Overflow, no help at all. Because essentially what I'm doing is, let me give you a little bit of a background story of what's going on. What's with this all these born again videos? Well, I haven't quite made a bunch of them yet, but I'm going to be making a bunch of them. Okay, so we all know that prior to 2024, pretty much my career was non-existent. I mean, I wouldn't exactly call being a deli clerk a career highlight at the age of 48. I would not consider that a career highlight. So essentially, what's happened is I did Half Dome earlier this year, and that was the second best day I've had in well over 20 years. Yes, 20 years. The best day was actually when I graduated Navy boot camp and actually earned my Navy sailor ball cap. It went from recruit ball cap to Navy sailor. That was the number one. That was the best day. Second best day was, of course, doing Half Dome. The third best day within like a 20-year period was running in the Boston Marathon back in 2004 and placing in the top 9% overall. Aside from that, I've decided that the day of doing Half Dome was a day that I was going to be born again, meaning like everything I've done prior to essentially that day is essentially non-existent. Now, whatever people know about me or so forth, that is that. But let's say I met someone, let's say I met one of you randomly in person, and I ask about you, you ask about me. Well, if you say, "Have I ever skied at Summit at Snoqualmie?" I'm going to be like, "Never been there. I've heard of it, but never been there." Or if someone were to ask me, "Have I ever skied at Stevens Pass?" I'm going to be like, "Yeah, isn't that some ski area up on Highway 2? But as far as I know, never been there, never skied there. Everything's complete scratch." And what does that mean? It means I'm learning Python, SQL, everything from scratch. And I'm about a month into my born again SQL journey. So I'm still probably at a novice level. So let's go ahead and get started here. Let me see if I've got any more comments here. Wrong app. Not that. I need to go back to my YouTube studio. Cool. So Jocelyn is saying you do a little bit of Python at work for SQL. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. So when it comes to Python programming, one of the very first things you're going to find in a lot of tutorials is it's going to be like, are you excited to write your first line of code? And that's typically going to be something along the lines of something like this. It's going to be print and then hello world. At least that's what it was 6 years ago. It might be different now, but there you go. That would be your first official Python programming. It's only a one line, but hey, you can be like, yes, I wrote my first line of code. Now, this day and age, I'm sure there's probably like more freedom. So I'm going to be like, let's, I'm going to use, because if I recall, you can't mix single and double quotes. So I'm going to be, let us pray for Peter Pumpkinhead on Halloween. Cool. All right. So essentially, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of demonstrating the use of the print function. I can do some basic math here, and I get 10. Okay. So now the next thing is going to be Seattle. Oh, update time. It's update. Seattle is leading 2-1. 2-1. Top. Let's see. What inning is that? Top of the third inning. 2 outs. Oh yeah, Seattle leading 2-1. Okay, I gotta calm down. Okay, calm down. Okay, variables here. So variable assignment. So let's say you can think of variable assignment as like, let's say you want to assign a variable with a value of 88. It's going to be stored in its own specific memory on your computer. You can just think of like variables as that way. So let's go ahead and create our very first variable. X is equal to 88. Very straightforward. Let's create another variable. Let's go ahead and create name and equals. Let's call myself, let's see, Donnelly the chili head. Okay, there we go. Let's do last name is equal to, I really don't, so I gotta make sure I use double quotes here. I really don't like the last name of Miller because it is too common. Yes, I would definitely would have to say that. Let's see, what's another one? Okay, let's create another variable. Let's create a list of numbers. Yes, the infamous list. So let's go ahead and do 1, 2. Okay. Now you'll see why I'm gonna add numbers up to. I'll go up to 20. I'll go up to 20. Just make it short. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, so as you can see here, I've declared some variables. Now, if I want to print these variables, straightforward. I'm just going to say I'm going to print name, for instance. And of course, that's going to print out Donnelly the chili head. Now, another cool thing you can do is if you want to assign multiple variables on one line, you can do something like this. A is equal to, I could do something like so essentially what's happening here is A is going to have a value of alpha, B is going to have a value of beta, C Charlie, and D delta. So if I come down here, see if I print B, well, beta is going to be printed out. Another thing you can do with strings is you can do like what's called, I believe you can do what's called string concatenation. And that's something where you go like print A plus B. Let's see what happens here. So what's happening here is it's printing both A and B. Now, if I do something like this, if I use multiplying, I'm probably going to get an error. Yep, you can't multiply non-sequence by non-int type string. So let's go ahead and come back here. So how could I fix this so that I have a space? I gotta put a plus in there. All right, I gotta put the plus. All right. So I've got alpha beta. I want to put a space in there. Well, I could probably do something like, and then add another, and there we go. Okay, let me check my comments here. Let's see if I got any more comments here. All right, so it looks like I've got some more people coming here. Peter Parker's. Most wouldn't venture into Python programming to calm the nerves. Good luck, sir. Oh, I like that. NA, NA. And we got Louis. Louis is in the house. I was working on Python code today, Donnie. I was doing a lotto generation code on my Python since it's more realistic too. I can use every weekend. I'm coding a lotto code, something to actually use during the weekend. My code is okay. All right. Let's see. All right. So back over here. See, I'm gonna try my phone one more time. Okay. So far I'm not getting. It is not showing my. It is not showing my live stream, unfortunately, because that way I can more easily respond to my comments as they come up on my phone. But it's not working out to my liking today. So yeah, it's not letting me do it that way. So unfortunately, I'll just have to keep reverting back to my other screen. Okay, so let's up the challenge here. Now, back in the day, and believe it or not, I've actually had a technical interview. This was back in 2021 during my days of the hiking adventures with the hiking group. Yeah, I actually had a job interview, and it was interesting because I should have accepted the job offer, but no, I was so hell bent on pursuing this software development program and this and that. But actually, uh, the reason why this technical interview was really easy was you were basically it was for a job as a programmer, but you still had to pass a course. So basically, how it worked was okay, I applied for this programming position. You would get selected based on how well you did during the interview, but then you still have to go through like a 2 month long program to see whether or not you would actually be hired on permanently. So it was kind of like you get hired on to go through like a 2 month course, but then you've got to pass the course to actually get hired. But here are some of the questions they asked me during this interview. And one of them was, what are the four pillars of object oriented programming? And let's see if I can even remember them. I'm like once again, you see, I'm not using any resources. My phone, I'm not using my phone other than to see if I've got comments, but I can't do that even through my phone. So let me see. Object oriented programming, the four pillars. Encapsulation is one, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. Did I get that right? Let me try that again. Okay. Let me try. Okay, so I've got abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism. That was one question. Another question was, what are the different data types in Python? Well, let's see. Let's go ahead and give an actual visual demonstration. Let's start off with strings. A string is something like this. It's anything that's enclosed with quotes. It could be something like, this is a string. That's an example of a string. A tuple. Oh, yes. A tuple is something along the lines where you have something that's in these rounded brackets. And they also asked me, uh, are tuples mutable or immutable? They are immutable, meaning you cannot change what's inside a tuple, whereas lists are mutable. You can change what's inside a list. That they asked me. Let's see. So I'll just create a very simple tuple here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, another data type, but I'm going to go ahead and I don't want to use a keyword. There we go. Another data type is list. So we'll go ahead and call this my list. Let's go ace. And let's see, hot dog. Okay, okay. So that's an example of a list. Another data type is a dictionary or a set. Sets are good if you want to have only unique values. So we can go my set. and these are going to be in these curved curly brackets here. So let's go ahead and do 1, 5. So that's an example of a set. Another data type is the dictionary. Dang, I'm surprised I'm actually remembering this much. I thought I would have forgotten most of this stuff. Dictionary. So we'll go ahead and call it my dictionary. And these are what I believe are called key value pairs. So let's say I'm going to run a chili farm and I want to see how much, I want to keep track of my inventory. So that could be like, okay, I got poblanos. I've got many. I've got 3,000. Let me go ahead and give this a space here. Let's see. Carolina Reapers. I don't have very many of those because it's kind of out of season. So I'll just put 45. Let's do another one. Let's put some haban, haba, habaneros. And I got many of those. I'll put 10,000, 500, or 15,000. So these are known as key value pairs. And let's see, other data types. Well, you've got, floats, you've got integers, string. So yeah, that was another question they asked me. They just wanted to see if I knew like different types of data that you can use in coding. Let's see, what else did they ask me? Oh, I think they asked me like, how do I indexing? Yes, they asked me about indexing. Like, how does indexing work when it comes to Python? And let's go ahead and scroll down here. Oh, my list is not defined. Oh yeah. Another thing with Python programming is when you're doing variable assignment, you'll notice here that I've got equal signs. So let's go ahead and run this. I don't want to have errors. Now let's say I want to compare two different values. Let's just two different values. But we'll get to that in a sec. Let's see. What else did they ask me? I know they asked me a couple other questions, but it was very basic. I mean, it was like super simplistic. Okay. So now, what do I mean by lists being mutable? Meaning like you can change lists. Okay, so if we go to numbers here, here is my list of numbers. The first thing I can do here is I can add a number to the end of this list. And if I recall, let me think here. Let me think. What is it? Let me think. It's like I said, this is the first time I've done any kind of Python programming without using any library like pandas or NumPy or Seaborn. This is the first time I've done like your original traditional Python programming this year. What is it? Can I think? Oh, append. Yes, append. I want to add the 21 to my list. So that is going to be numbers dot append 21. And if I recall, it's going to add it to the end right here. So let's see what happens. Yep, invalid syntax. Let's see what happens when I print. I never know. So yes, now I have a 21. Now let's say I want to change 10 to 100. Can I do that? Let's see. Can I change 10 to 100? Well, here's where knowing about indexing comes into play. So in programming, indexing actually starts at 0. So you may be thinking this is at index 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it is actually 0. So essentially this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then you've got negative indexing. So this would be like -1, -2, and so forth. So I figure you would think this would be at index 10. Wrong. Just think 10 minus 1 is 9. So this is going to be index 9. I believe I would do something like this. I would do numbers, square brackets, what's going to be at index number 9. If I extract that value, I should get 10. Cool. Now I want to change that to 100. So now I can do something like this. I can go numbers is equal to number. Let's see if I can, like I said, I'm not using any chat GPT, no help. I cannot rely on any help. Okay, numbers, I want to change numbers. Let's see if I do this. Okay, numbers 10, numbers 9. is equal to 100. Let's see what happens if I type in numbers now. All right, so there we go. I changed that value from 10 to 100. And so now this is where indexing can kind of come in handy. Let's say I only want to get the first 6 numbers. How can I do that? Well, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put numbers, square brackets, colon, and I only want the first 6 numbers. So I want 1 through 6 to count. I'm going to put 7 here because that's going to be up to, but not including. Let's see. So 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So actually 6 because I'm thinking index 6. So I want everything up to, but not including what's up at index 6. So what I should get here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I got it. Now let's see if I can remember. Let's say I want to only extract 5 through 100. Let's see, how can I do that? Let's see, how can I do this? I'm going to check on my comments here before I move along. Ball game, updating the ball game is 2-1, top of the 4th inning, 1 out. Come on, Mariners! Come on, you gotta get yourselves into a World Series. Let this be the year. Come on. Oh. Oh, yes, they just got a hit. Baseball just got like a hit to third base. Okay, yeah. Okay, let me go back to my comment. Okay, so I don't have much. I don't really have any comments here. Okay, so okay, all right. Let's see. Public. So don't have much comments coming in here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not getting. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so I'm gonna relax here a little bit because it doesn't look like I have very many viewers right now. So I can kind of calm down, not rush. Okay, I think I'm just stressing myself out because I'm trying to do 3 things at once: learning Python, watching a very intense ball game, and I'm trying to live stream, which I'm definitely out of practice with. So where was I at? I want to get only 5 through 100. So I'm going to do something like this. Numbers. So I've got to get number 5 is going to be at index 4, but I only want through 100. So if I go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and through 10. So basically what I'm doing here is I want index 4 values from index 4, but uh, not including 10. Up to, but not including 10. Yes, I did it. Yeah. Okay, so now this used to be a very, from my understanding, I could be wrong. This used to be a very popular interview question or challenge during an interview process. It's called FizzBuzz. Yes. Now, I don't know if it's used anymore because I think everyone knows how to do this. I mean, you could figure this out probably like within like the first 15 minutes of learning Python. I mean, like that's how easy it is. So I doubt they use this anymore, but like back in the 80s, back in the 90s, FizzBuzz, I guess, was a common interview question. And you'll see why that they probably don't use it anymore because it's very, very easy. You know, as people would say when I was in grade school, they would be like, it's very cinchy. Okay, so here we go. First, I'm going to try to create a big list of numbers. Actually, I'm just going to use my numbers list from up here. So let me change this 100 back to a 10. Okay, so let me go ahead and put my numbers out. Okay, cool. All right, so now this is going to be an outdated interview question that is way too easy for almost anyone now. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I want to determine which numbers are divisible by 3 and 5, both 3 and 5, and come up with the same. Next, I got to figure out which numbers are only divisible by 5 and print a certain, have it print out something. Then determine if they're only divisible by 3, have it print out. So let me go ahead and explain it as I'm typing it out. So basically, essentially what I'm doing here is I'm going to start off with a for loop, not a while loop, a for loop. So for value in numbers, got to make sure I put my colon. If value, I'm going to use the modular operator. If value modular 3, no, let's do 5, is equal. Now notice here, remember I was bringing up variable assignment, you use like a single equal sign, but if you're doing a comparison, you've got to use the double equal sign. But I'll go ahead and show you what happens if I don't put that double equal sign. Okay. And value. Then I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do this. Okay. I'm doing that. Well, I'm just doing. I want to actually show you what happens if I don't put equal signs here. Okay, if I don't put the. Okay. Okay. Let's see what happened. Oh, I gotta get rid of this extra. Okay, let's see what happens here. See, invalid syntax. Because what it's pointing at, it is pointing up here, meaning I don't have that extra equal sign here. So that's an easy fix. If I come over here, still got another syntax error. Okay, so like I said, this is. See, okay, so like I said, okay. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Let's try that. Nope. Interesting. So like I said, I can't use no chat GPT. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so let's see. If value. Ah, I know what I'm doing. Okay, if. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm missing here. I gotta put is equal. I gotta put a 0 here. Wow. Okay, so yeah. You gotta excuse me, guys. I am a complete beginner here. Remember that. Remember, I am a born again beginner here. Okay, so. But I don't recall. No, I don't recall. Expected. Okay, let's see. All right. Whew. Yeah, I can see. As you can see, yeah, this is okay. So okay, so I got it. Okay, so now it's working. So now let's go ahead and add some else if statements in here. Okay, so let me come down here. Okay, so if value. Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. This is okay. I'm getting somewhere here. Now, and other programming, I gotta put LSIB, not LSIB or LIF. And other programming languages, I want to say to use LSIF, but in Python it's LIF. Okay, so come down over here. Okay. Okay. No, in the original uh, test question, they use FizzBuzz. So like if it's divisible by both 5 and 3, it would be FizzBuzz. If it's like divisible by 5, it would be like Buzz. If it's like divisible by 3, it would be Fizz. But I'm just being, you know, I figure I wanted to kind of be a little adventurous here. Okay, so basically what's happening here is it's going to first evaluate if it's divisible by both. And I gotta put and I gotta make sure I gotta change that to and, because that's going to change it. That's actually going to change it, because what's happening is if I put or, then what's going to happen is because this is being evaluated first, I'm actually going to have every value that's divisible by either 3 or 5 be saying is hot as a Carolina Reaper. And so right now, but let's see, because 5 and 3, but let's see what I'm doing. I got to think. Yep, so right here, I know it's kind of hard to see, but let's see. Okay, let me go ahead and let's see. Okay, so right now, if we come over here, what's both divisible by 5 and 3? So you got to think. 15 would be is both divisible. But see, here we have is as hot as a Carolina Reaper. So you're wondering, but how come it's not like coming up as this other as this other one here, even though 15 is also divisible by 5 and it's also divisible by 3? Well, that's because this is being evaluated first. Now let's see what happens if I change this to or. If I change it to or, that's going to change a lot of things. See, now what happens is, see, is as hot as a Carolina Reaper. See, whether it's divisible by 3 or 5, now I have a bunch more is as hot as a Carolina Reaper pepper. So that's what you got to be watchful for if you're doing comparisons and using logical operators, is whether you're using an and or and what you want to have as a result set. So those are what you have to consider. You have to consider what's being evaluated first, and then also are you using the and or the or. I believe in the original interview question it was an and. So let's just change it back to and. Okay, let me go back to my comment and see if I can get any more comments here. Nope, not getting any more comments. All right, so okay, so let's see here. I think I'm gonna wrap it up with that, because yeah, I'm not getting too much interaction here. So let me go ahead and let's try a while loop. Now, while loops used to always trip me up, and it's gonna trip me up here again. So don't be surprised. But I used to always be afraid. Like, this is how gullible I was. I used to think that if I created an infinite loop, that like something would happen to my computer, that it would like crash on me, or maybe even like blow up on me, or like explode. Like, I mean, like I was like afraid. Like, I would be like, is my computer gonna like all of a sudden like short circuit on me and like blow up on my lap or something like that? So here we go. I'm gonna try a for loop, a while loop here. So okay, so here we go. Let's see if I have a val. Okay, so nothing's happening here. Mm. Yeah, nothing's happening here, but at least I'm not getting like an infinite. I'm not getting like any kind of infinite loop here or anything. So I think what's happening here is there's this thing called like scope, like global scope versus local scope. Yeah, so yeah, okay, so I'm gonna have to come back to this one, but I'm gonna come back to my comments here, and yep, it looks like I am kind of out of it for now. I'll be continuing this live stream, but I'll be just doing it through my phone while I kind of give updates on the ball game. All right, that's all for everyone. Peace out.